10 most dangerous places on Earth that you shouldn't visit. Do you find yourself able to go to bed without a single thing in the world to worry about? It would appear that our planet is a relatively secure and secure location. Wouldn't you agree? But that's not the case. Our world is home to a great number of areas that are both wild and dangerous. In every region of the world, there is a plethora of potentially hazardous locations. We have everything from countries that have been devastated by war to countries that are prone to natural disasters to regions that are unknown and terrifying. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Here we have top 10 dangerous places on the Earth. Number 10. Syria. Western Asia is home to the nation of Syria, which holds the top spot on the list of the most hazardous places in the world. Having a reputation for being a frequent target for conflicts and the chaos that follows, the people who dwell there are always living in terror of coming into contact with death. Persistent violent confrontations are responsible for a significant amount of loss of life and property. Even if the nation makes an effort to recover from the devastation, it will return to being reduced to parts and fragments in a very short amount of time. Several atrocities have been committed in Syria, including the use of chemical weapons, prolonged sieges, bombardments of civilian areas, famine, and a lack of access to medical treatment. Having been completely torn apart by war, this nation is an extremely hazardous location to call home. The fact that it is a significant historical site in the Middle East does not mean that it is completely risk-free for tourists to visit. Number 9. The Brazilian island of Snake. With its official name of Ilha de Queimada Grande, Snake Island is situated off the coast of São Paulo in Brazil. Due to the alarmingly high number of snakes that can be found there, it is considered to be one of the most dangerous places in the world to visit and live in. The deadly golden lancehead viper can only be found on this island, which is the only place on the planet where it can be found. The mere thought of this snake can send chills down your spine because its venom is so potent that it can melt human flesh. Visitors have been prohibited from entering the island by the Brazilian government because of the unavoidable levels of danger that are present there. Number 8. The Desert of Danakil. Located in East Africa. It is the Danakil Desert of East Africa, which can be found in the northwestern part of Djibouti, the southern part of Eritrea, and the northeastern part of Ethiopia. Known far and wide for its volcanoes and geysers that emit a great deal of toxic gases and an unbearable amount of heat, this desert is one of the most unfavorable and dangerous places in the entire world. It is a gruesome place to visit or live in because the daytime temperatures frequently exceed the extremes of 50 degrees Celsius 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Additionally, Eritrea is extremely prone to a large number of inhumane conflicts, which raises the levels of danger in this region. The likelihood of being kidnapped is even increased as a result of these conflicts. The Danakil Desert is rife with dangers and catastrophes, whether they are organic or the result of human activity. Number 7. Sahel. Located in North Africa. The Sahel region of Africa is located on the continent's border with the well-known Sahara Desert. Several decades ago, this area was certainly not even close to being considered a dangerous area. Recent events have rendered it an extremely uninhabitable location, where people can no longer live. Despite the region's limited water resources, humans have taken advantage of them. They have been exploiting their resources in a very irresponsible manner, rather than making fair use of them. The upshot of this is that the area has continued to get desertified on a considerable scale. As a result of the inherent risk of drought and famine, no kind of life can survive here for an extended period. Over 1 lakh persons were forced to take their final breath as a result of drought for 12 years, beginning in 1972 and ending in 1984. The Sahel is a typical illustration of the kind of damage people commit to themselves in the long run, so that they can have fleeting satisfaction. Number 6. Oymyakon. Russia. Thousands of kilometers to the east of Moscow, lying in the heart of Siberia, is the Russian town of Oymyakon. Having scarily low temperatures for a constantly inhabited place, it is one of the coldest spots in the world. The lowest temperature to be recorded here was 71.2 degrees Celsius, 96.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Only 500 people live here with extreme difficulty and barely manage to endure the terrible weather conditions. They live on the edge, unsure of whether their bodies will sustain them until the next morning. Mobile phones do not function in such cold climates, and hardly any crops grow here. Number 5. Alagoas, Brazil. Imagine living in a place where you never know when and by whom you will be minced into pieces and forced to leave the world. Alagoas, which is located in Brazil, is the state that you are looking for. It is common knowledge that Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo, two of Brazil's most important metropolitan areas, have a crime rate that is significantly higher than average. However, despite its relatively tiny size and low level of popularity, Alagoas has the highest rate of homicides in all of Brazil, and it is quite likely that it even has the highest rate of homicides in the entire world. There are over 2,000 fatalities that occur annually in this state, even though it only has about 3 million people living in it. At the same time, this ought to be very concerning for every visitor. Warning: dangerous feature. Criminal intent. Number 4. Liberian capital of Monrovia. The capital of Liberia is Monrovia, which is home to West Point, which is widely considered to be among the most impoverished slums on the African continent. This slum is home to approximately 75,000 people, despite the difficult living conditions that exist there. West Point is a slum that is out of control and a cruel place to live because it is plagued by epidemics of cholera, crime, drug abuse, teenage prostitution, and a severe lack of sanitation facilities. There are several severe environmental hazards that Monrovia is subject to, including pollution and floods. Nearly every breath that is taken in this location can be a very exhausting struggle, truly one of the most dangerous places in the world to live in and travel to. Monrovia needs to be handled with care. A warning about the dangers of poverty and the conditions that follow from it. Number 3. Mount Sinabung, Indonesia. Located on the Indonesian island of Sumatra, Mount Sinabung is an active stratovolcano. It is a dangerous place to live in or to visit because severely damaging eruptions occur here frequently. Whenever one of these eruptions takes place, thousands of people are left without a place to live or a means of subsistence. Several nearby towns and villages have been engulfed in ash and lava on multiple occasions, causing them to endure excruciating pain. The most recent eruptions occurred in 2010, 2013, 2014, 2015, and 2016. These have been the cause of the deaths of many dozens of people. The area around Mount Sinabung is always on high alert, but nothing much can be done for its safety. Alert danger feature. Volcanic eruptions. Number 2. North Korea. Considered to be a totalitarian dictatorship, North Korea is a country in Eastern Asia. It is recognized to have the worst provisions for human rights. Locals and visitors both might be jailed for problems that persons living in democratic countries consider commonplace. This country can be particularly perilous for American tourists due to the worsening relations between North Korea and the United States. With only 15 allowed haircuts and 3 television stations, North Korea is a place where human excrement is utilized as a fertilizer. Also, punishment for crime carries on for 3 generations here. Intimidating, this country is a difficult location to live in and travel to. Number 1. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. With a reputation of being one of the deadliest and most deadly areas across the world, the Skeleton Coast is situated along the Atlantic coast of Namibia. This inhospitable area of land takes its name from the skeletal remains of whales and seals scattered all along the beach. Many shipwrecked sailors and other people have also lost their lives here due to the harshness of the local environment. Unless you wish to run the danger of turning into naked bones without any flesh or breath, this is not the place for you. Thanks for watching. Did you like it? Please inform us in the remarks section below. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for further updates.